From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Hello, everyone. I am Keith Allen and proudly welcoming you to this Thursday's edition of For the People on August the 24th, 2017. I had to look up and just make sure, but yesterday, I remember, was Hump Day, and today, Texas is getting a little concerned about what's coming in. Hurricane warnings issued for Texas coast, as the headline reads, for Tropical Storm Harvey. That's the name. It's a hurricane warning, was issued Thursday. That's today for a section of Texas Gulf Coast. Strengthening is Tropical Storm Harvey, and it's as this is approaching, which may bring, as they're calling it, life-threatening flooding to portions of the state. So they're hunkering down over there. Let's hear what they're saying over there.
Bayous and creeks would be potentially a problem with this type of rainfall.
That wind can carry those barricades away, and we need them to stay where they are.
We're always prepared. Water, batteries, gas in the vehicles. We're always ready.
Well, that's something that we do here in Florida. But in Texas, they got to heed the warnings. There's always somebody that doesn't heed those warnings. But Harvey's forecast is to make landfall tomorrow night or early Saturday morning along the south-central Texas coast. And it covers Port Mansfield to Matagorda, where tropical storm warnings extend north of Matagorda to High Island, and then south to the mouth of the Rio Grande on the Mexico border. The National Hurricane Center said that the hurricane conditions are likely within the hurricane warning area late Friday or Friday night, with tropical storm conditions possible by Friday. Already, Texas Governor Greg Abbott declared a state of disaster for 30 counties. This was yesterday, ahead of the expected landfall of Harvey, and ordered the Texas Division of Emergency Management and State Operations Center to elevate its readiness level in preparation for the storm's arrival, and rightly so. A lot of flooding, man. That's what gets people. You know, houses can go underwater, cars can go underwater, and things can fill up and things can go wrong really, really quickly. At hashtag hurricane warning is up for Port Mansfield, Matagorda, Texas. Preparation is to protect life and property should be rushed to completion. Get it done. Or as they say, get her done. They are in Texas, so we hope folks do get ready, heed all the warnings. Louisiana actually could be caught in this as well, so it's Texas and Louisiana. So we're hoping maybe this thing slows down, but it looks like that these winds and this pressure of this storm is really cranking up. The Gulf water is pretty hot, and it's very active. So we're kind of watching the Atlantic and the Gulf, et cetera, here in Florida as well. But that's one storm that's already going to be wreaking havoc here in the mainland. So we hope minimal damage possible, and all happens, maybe it won't be as bad as we think, but you can never outguess, as they say, Mother Nature. So our prayers and our thoughts for those getting ready for the storm to come in. Hillary Clinton, here she goes. She's got a new book that's coming out, trying to explain herself. This has been worked on, and it's just titled "What Happened." Basically, it's detailing her regrets, more or less, for the 2016 campaign and elections. But because if you can't beat them, you write a book and you profit off them. So that's basically what Hillary Clinton's doing. She says, I don't have all the answers, and this isn't a comprehensive account of 2016 race, she said in one of the excerpts. But in this book, I write about moments from the campaign that I wish I could go back and do over. If the Russians could hack my subconscious, they'd find a long list. She was mentioning at one point in her book, and because I was reading some of the excerpts on it, she was intimidated by Donald Trump. Well, first of all, Donald Trump is very tall in stature, but she was supposed to be groomed to all this. That he towered over her, and she would say stuff in the book like, "I could feel him breathing down my neck." And I'm thinking to myself, as ruthless as you have been to folks around the country and taking money from places you shouldn't and spending money as you shouldn't have and all this charades and taking out your political operatives and stuff like this, Donald Trump, you really were that intimidated with Donald Trump? This is just, again, Hillary Clinton back with more election excuses and Trump bashing. She knew darn well that she didn't have anything to say. Her message fell flat because she didn't have a message. Had she had the message with what Donald Trump was talking about, then it probably would have got her into the White House. Maybe, or at least closer than what she got, because she failed miserably. But she'll sell books, and this will just rev up the left. But the Russians, if they could hack my subconscious, they'd find a long list. Taking more pop shots at Trump, and maybe if you want to pick it up, including saying made her skin crawl, calling him a creep. Oh, yeah, creep. Recounting the experience of debating Trump at Washington University in St. Louis. She said, "I was incredibly uncomfortable. It was literally breathing down my neck. My skin crawled." Exact quote. It was one of those moments where you wish you could hit pause and ask everyone watching, well, what would you do? Do you stay calm, keep smiling, and carry on as if he weren't repeatedly invading your space? Or do you turn to him, look to him in the eye, and say loudly and clearly, "Back up, you creep. Get away from me"? I kept my cool, aided by a lifetime of dealing with men trying to throw me off. Yeah, okay. Bring Tyrone out on that one. Okay, lady. That's funny. I actually might write the book. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm writing a book, actually. That's true. But I might read her book. I mean, I'm just getting so elated here. I'm beside myself here. I'm looking forward to really, I think I'm going to, at my expense, go to Barnes & Noble, buy the book, and just read it. Not going to request, what, I'm going to interview Hillary Clinton? No, thank you. No, thank you. We have her number. But, she's blaming, the James Comey deal. She's blaming the Russians about this other stuff. Her continued assertions, long laundry list of things that she thought made bad decisions, and the loss wasn't her fault. Of course not. She still says it wasn't her. Somebody else did it. Those other people. It sounds like the left today, instead of just taking responsibility and saying, you know what, my message could have been more clearer. I should have stopped blaming. I should have had more answers. She didn't. Remember Radio Shack? They had the commercial campaigns several years. I don't know. I'm in the commercial business, so I remember ad campaigns. I know I'm a nerd. You've got questions. We've got answers. That was the Radio Shack deal. My mentor, Don Keyes, did a lot of the radio commercials in Texas. He died of throat cancer, unfortunately, several years ago. But anyway, they didn't have answers. Donald Trump appeared very successful. And if she was intimidated from Donald Trump, then so be it. The man wildly defeated all the so-called politicians and yourself. because we have politicians' numbers. The reason we're in the problems, the situation at this point in history is because of politicians that have mainly sold us out for politics and not virtues or values or anything like that whatsoever. Some people would say, oh, don't grow a conscience in Washington. Don't do that. You can't have a conscience. Well, believe it or not, there's people that do. It does change people, though. It's amazing to see how people serve their state and then they get in to office and they're just not the same. Donald Trump is so unlike the establishment. And the establishment are still trying, his own party still trying to figure Trump out. Trump's not going to be the grand old party of your grandfather's Bonneville or his old 69 Cadillac. That's not how Donald Trump operates. But some thought that once he got in, he would just get along to go along, just status quo. If Donald Trump thought that was what he had to do, he wouldn't have taken the job, wouldn't have ran for office if he didn't think he was going to make a change, a lasting change. Not hope and change. Not the Barack Obama stuff. They're going to have to eat some humble pie. They're going to have a coming to Jesus moment where they all get together and convene and come up with a strategy on how they can work with Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump is not going to back down from being himself. And I think he continues to be him because he realizes that if he doesn't continue doing that, then these real changes will never happen. He's going to stick to his guns. What is that called? Wow. Will you actually stand your ground? You actually believe in something. You actually fight for something. And something that actually will benefit all of America, not just some, but all. Some, no, all Americans. And that's a beautiful thing. A lot of politicians, they've looked out for themselves. They've made plenty of money. And meanwhile, the people that put them into office have no money. And a lot more people are becoming more astute about these things. And I'll tell you what, and if it was just the deplorables, meaning uneducated people, underpaid people, if it was just that, if that's not important, the worker bees of our country, because that's who keeps the country going anyways, not the fat cats in Washington, or in our major cities on Wall Street. It's not them. But if it was just them that brought us into office, then my hat off to you. Then just put me into that group there. Because if it takes that group of people to bring this country back to its senses, then let it be. We need this. You need this. This is America's coming to Jesus moment, if you will. Like I say, there's a good shortage of it, a large shortage of it in our country, and that's why I do this broadcast daily, to wake people up, to make people think, to have real, meaningful, heartfelt, with facts at hand, but heartfelt conversations that are not meaningless or frivolous, but actually get something done. There has to be a real understanding here. Talking about no understanding of the real facts of what went on and who better not to know than the mayor of Phoenix or the police of Phoenix, Arizona, the ACLU. And what are they up to? The ACLU says that the police infringed on the constitutional rights of protesters who demonstrated outside a presidential Donald Trump rally. In a public statement released by the American Civil Liberties Union, the group claims that it was the actions of the Phoenix police that caused violence to erupt from anti-Trump protesters outside his rally. ACLU of Arizona Executive Director Alessandra Soler made the accusations in a statement